What's up, everybody? We are live over here with Backpack Beatz, and it's cool. I think you're like the second Twitch person I've actually had on my show. So,
Fire.
and I've
Dope,
done a
dope,
lot of
dope, dope.
these. So, like Twitch people, different vibe, and y'all like know it. And it's with it. It's with a Z. You might call it a Z. I call it a Z. It's just the same letter though. I put that in the title because I thought it would be a fun reminder for me. um, it's great to have you here. I this is Bridge the Gap. My name's Holden Stephan Roy. I don't normally do this at 12 p.m. on a freaking Saturday. So I'm adjusting to the time slot, so bear with me, everyone. But this is the show where we go through the lives of interesting people such as yourself, Mr. Backpack Beatz, and learn your story, learn your grind, and then the conversation flows as the conversation flows, and that's basically the whole goal of what we do over here. On that note, if to get the ball rolling correctly, I got my big old opening question. But in order to get that context set up properly, could you just like briefly introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from, and like where you start your life, and a little bit of what you do.
Got you for sure. So for those that don't know, I go by Backpack Beatz. I'm a producer. I'm a DJ. I'm an MC. I'm a videographer. I'm a YouTuber. Pretty much a jack of all trades, man. Yeah, I'm originally from a small town in Florida. It's called Milton, Florida. Then I moved to Chicago about 3 years ago. And yeah, just been on the grind, man. Been making beats since probably about 2007. Didn't really get good till
We're
about
gonna we're
2011.
gonna go through all of
Yeah.
that part of
So,
that stuff. Trust, but what's really important
okay.
is
So
you grew up in
we gonna
Florida.
wait.
And yo, shut up, Pelican, for the follow,
Yeah.
because I missed that happening. But yeah, so he starts off in Florida, and then so this is why, because my opening question. So I gotta update the stream elements. I'll do that when you're giving your answer. Basically, my opening question is a bit of a story, and when it lands, you'll be able to take it in whatever direction you want. And it starts off with my girlfriend, and she's washing the dishes one time, and she's got her phone open, and she be playing that Black Eyed Peas song, the I got a feeling, ooh, and she's vibing, she's dancing, she's washing the dishes. She actually played it the other day. She like pulled me over to tell me she was playing. Anyway, so she's bumping that, and I'm looking at her that first time, and I'm like, yo, when did this song become chores music, right? Because like now this song's role in life is you at the gym, you're doing some chores, you're doing some boring shit, maybe it's a spreadsheet, and you want to have some vibes to go back to the happier times in life. Because yo, 10 years back, if you think about this track, it's like the middle of the night, you super drunk club song, everybody dancing in happy vibes while this track's on. Then all of a sudden, a decade goes by, the song doesn't change because it's a song and they don't really change much, but we change so much, the context in our lives evolves so much that now this is the chores music, the exercise music, etc. And I thought that was like wild. It got me thinking about how these 20-year-olds be running around doing their things and have no idea that they're going to be doing chores to that music one day. And they also don't know that we are doing chores to their club music right fucking now. They just don't know that club music equals chores music type thing. And that got me thinking about the evolution of stuff, because as musicians, and this is especially true if you watch like interviews and stuff, musicians kind of like always start this story around the point where they form identity, around adolescence usually. I discovered hip hop at this point. I started writing rhymes at this point. Our first favorite rapper is this point. And I promise the first music this guy heard was not his first favorite rapper type thing, right? The story of our music and our journey, because it's a journey, it goes back to like the day we born. Like there was probably up in some hospital that you was at, some music playing in the room, and little baby you was absorbing that, not even knowing about it. So all of that really starts us off. Like I can remember being like 5, Montreal, in the apartment. My dad's got these gray boxes all over, the radio, the tape decks, the amplifier, the going out to the speakers and all these different things. And then in the daytimes would be a lot of tapes like the Led Zeppelins and shit. At nighttime, the Montreal clubs, right, it would be streamed right to the radio. So it'd be a lot of MC Mario club mixes and shits like that. My mom's though, she's more like musicals and love songs and a bunch of other vibes and things. And then all of this is stuff that I was forced to listen to. I had no control over the situation until I got much older. But all of that greatly impacted me as an artist and all the different things I do in my journey. So I was hoping Mr. Backpack Beatz. You could bring us back to the youngest Backpack Beatz you can remember being, and walk us through a bit like what it sounded like to be you, the vibes, what your parents was into, the world around you, the technologies, all of that good stuff.
So for sure, I mean, it really goes back. It really goes back to my grandparents, right? So, my grandfather, he's a musician. He's played the saxophone since he was like, shoot, maybe 13, 14.
Okay.
He was in the army. He was in the army. He was in the army band. Played saxophone in the army band, and when he had his kids, he had three. So the one rule in the house, the one rule in his house is that everybody had to play an instrument, right? So my mom played the clarinet, my aunt played the flute, my uncle played the saxophone as well. So I say all that to say that kind of trickled down into my household also. So little me as far as like what my mom was listening to. I didn't give my mom enough credit. I didn't like it's weird, sometimes you think your parents listen to whack music or something like
Absolutely.
that when they get older. But so it kind of clouded my vision of kind of the music head that my mom was. Whenever she was an adult, she was in the army. She actually did a lot of time in Germany. So in this, this is, early 90s, whenever you have, you can get CDs. That's all you could get or whatever. So I still have my mom's CDs from now. So she has pretty much everything that you can think of from late 80s to at least early mid 2000s. So that was kind of the stuff that we were listening to in the house. A lot of Mary J. Blige, pretty much anything Bad Boy, What else? What else were we listening to, man? Just like a lot of the good neo soul music. Not really a crazy amount of rap. Until maybe I got about 10, 11 that I can distinctly remember.
Right.
But just a lot of really, really good R&B, a lot of good New Jack Swing and different things like that. But it didn't really start taking a hold of me until like 99, 2000, 2001-ish. For some reason, like my mom doesn't like she doesn't like Kanye, she doesn't like Jay-Z, but for some odd reason, Jay-Z's Blueprint 1 was just chilling in a cabinet in an abandoned CD case. So I remember going to basketball camp. We had a week basketball camp, and we didn't. This is whenever I had a Walkman, or like a CD man, whatever you want to call it. Trying to fit a CD player into your pocket. You remember that?
Yes, yes, I do remember
yeah.
that. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, see, took you back. So I remember that was the only CD that I had. So I would listen to that. I listened to that front to back for an entire week. And that's really what that was like the one project that really just I gravitated towards and grabbed.
How old were you when you found that? I don't know. How old were you at that point?
So this was like 2002. So I was like 10, 11.
All right, so let's run it back before you were 10, 11. So let's say the music didn't captivate you to that point. What kinds of other stuff was you up to as a little one? Was you a dancer with all the music? Was you a dryer? Was you vibing out to different sports and things?
Yeah, basketball all day. Basketball. Like you see the hat, you see the hoodie, basketball. Like that's been my thing. Since I was at least 4. It was basketball and it was inline skating, which is very random.
What's inline skating exactly?
So you just skating. So like you remember the X Games like in the 90s, like whenever you had like skateboarding, but then you had like skating or like rollerblading.
Oh, say what?
Yeah, so
like rollerblading.
Yeah, so we would.
Okay, right? Yeah, okay. Because I think skating, I think ice. Because I'm up in Canada and shit, so it's my first.
That makes sense.
So you're talking like the roller rinks with like the fucking DJ playing and all the.
All of that. Yeah.
Okay, I did that a couple times. That shit's litty.
Yeah, for sure. I don't do it anymore, but yeah, I did it back in the day for sure.
That's cool though. You were doing all the tricks and shit.
Yeah. I was the only black kid in my neighborhood, so that's just what we were doing. That's what everybody was doing at the time. So if I wanted to go out and not play basketball and find something else to do, that was the thing to do.
When you were a kid though, that's at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's really cool, man. Like I think it's cool as like an adult thinking back. I don't
hmm
know how cool it is to other people.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
But that's also
Yeah.
really impactful, right? Because if you think about it, that's a heavy music environment.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like even whenever I was doing that, like basketball was my thing, skating was my thing. But I was talking about Jay-Z, but the other thing that really, really influenced me. So when I say basketball, right, I played, but then I would also watch like the and one mixtapes and I think the Nodic and like all of that stuff. So it was and one mixtapes and it was actually Tony Hawk that really got me, really wanting to listen to more hip hop because I remember I got PlayStation 2 for Christmas. The first game that I played was Tony Hawk 3. So yeah, so basketball and one mixtapes, Tony Hawk. That's what really just gelled me, and really
I wonder
really
how
made me
many
fall in
people
love.
out there got into hip hop specifically because of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like it's crazy. Like even when I think about it, even like Tony Hawk 1, just going back and listening to the soundtrack for the games and all that stuff, it's just ridiculous what you come across. You got Most Def, KRS-One, Gangstar, like all of that stuff, and when you're a kid and YouTube isn't out yet or stuff like that. That's really like your only form of getting music if your parents aren't buying it for you.
Yeah, I feel you. And I remember sports games, if I really think about it, was a huge part of it. Like there was a Del the Funky Homo Sapien song that I know I only learned because of video games.
Yeah,
Better wash
exactly.
your ass
As if you
you
must.
better brush your
Exactly.
teeth. I'm like, why do I? And then gets you curious, right? Because that
Yeah,
song's wild.
exactly.
It's like,
Yeah.
is he really doing a whole track about like
Or else she'll
hygiene?
be funky. I love that song,
It's a
bro.
banger,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's because I heard it 3,000 times playing
That
Tony
too.
Hawk. I
hmm
think Blood Brothers by Papa Roach was on one of these soundtracks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like all of these tracks over here, yeah, the Superman track. Is it? So
Yeah.
here I
On
am
Tony Hawk 1.
doing everything I
Everything
can,
I can.
holding on. Oh my gosh, that brings me
Yeah.
back. Yeah,
Exactly.
for me it was the first two games, but then
hmm
my brother could make
hmm
money gambling on Tony Hawk scores.
Wow.
I'm talking like he can hold the combo 5-6 minutes past the 2 minute timer
Wow. Yeah,
religiously.
yeah, yeah.
I don't play
That's
Tony
crazy.
Hawk a lot. When your little brother
Yeah.
murks you so hard that your 50,000 feels small,
Exactly. When you got 50,000 when he's got 50 million. So
that's not hyperbole. That is a regular amount, and it didn't matter the Tony Hawk game.
mhm,
He'd
mhm.
find every hack, everything. He'd break the game. I'm like, how the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Since he's like
Exactly.
13.
Yeah.
But
He has no strategy guide. He knows what he's doing.
yeah. But yeah, that game was wild. I didn't
For
even think
sure.
about that. But that's crazy. Impactful. Video games and music is something nobody
Yeah.
really brings up, but probably is something that hit all of us of a certain
hmm
age.
For sure. For sure.
All right, so you basically get that Jay-Z tape when you 10. How does that like impact you?
Just I heard nothing like that. So I guess going back a little bit, living in my when I was talking about everybody in the household had to play an instrument. I started when I was 6. I played drums and keys. So I would play for our church, and I was the main drummer for our church, and then I was just playing for like our youth choir whenever I was playing keys, and so I was always around that like 3 days a week. If we're practicing, if we're going to church, if we're going somewhere doing something. So it's always like Kirk Franklin or like some of these other things that I'm listening to when I'm not listening to my mom's music. So just listening to that, and then like if you're watching BET or MTV or something like that, yeah, you heard H to the Izzo and stuff like that. So, but then like whenever I heard the album. Like I didn't know who Just Blaze was. I didn't know who Kanye was at the moment, or as a producer. I didn't know who Kanye was. I didn't know who Knots was or anything like that.
Ooh,
But
that's
I
a
just
good
knew,
name too.
yeah, exactly. So like whenever I heard that, I was like, I've never heard anything like this in my entire life. Like this is not Lil Romeo. This is great music. You know what I mean? So yeah,
I like that you said that. That's a good comment.
yeah.
So basically, you get into it from the music point, and I guess you already have that foundational element of playing music at that point. Do you have a desire to be an artist, or is it still like you're a fan of this and you're doing the church thing?
Um, I did, because like whenever you're in school, you have your friends or whatever. It's like I can rap. So, we'll be on the bus, we'll be throwing out little two-liners and having like a cipher for the most part. Just doing that. And then I was like, oh, I have some sort of talent. Let me try it. You know what I mean? So I was already sort of making my own beats, just like recording stuff on a keyboard that I had. Just recording stuff on a little keyboard that I had and just making songs. I would make songs for my church and stuff like that. And I actually used to be in this gospel rap group. Me and a couple of my friends. We were called we were called KFC, and KFC was an acronym, and it meant Kingdom for Christ. So like we would go out around around different parts of Florida. We would go like different parts of Alabama and like stuff in the southern region of the states, and like we would do shows at like different churches and stuff like that. And this is like 13, 14, so when I was like doing this, I was like, oh, I got kind of a knack for this. I can go ahead and try it, so yeah.
No, I appreciate that. That's fucking dope. So tell us more about being in that group. How are y'all making songs? Tell us more about this. How many people be teenage gospel Christian folk out there doing your thing like that?
Yeah, for sure. There was, because this is like 04, 05-ish, right? So there was a time whenever gospel rap was just like a thing. Like it still wasn't like accepted by everybody yet.
This is like the cross movements and shit.
Movement, exactly. Yes, this is what I was listening to. Like I was listening to cross movement. I was listening to Lecrae when he just dropped.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like like people like that. So that was what we were listening to at the time. Like whenever I was out in the streets, I would listen to the radio. But then whenever I was at church, we would listen to all of that stuff. So whenever it was that time, it was just, we had like a small circle of just like really good artists that were just around the city, or that was around like surrounding states. So, and we were the young guns. Like we were the youngest people doing it. So it was me, one of my other guys named David, and his father was the pastor of one of the churches, and he had like all of the good recording equipment and all that. So we would just go over to the church and just record on Acid Pro and all of that stuff, getting beats. This SoundCloud's not out. I don't know if you remember SoundClick, but
yeah, I do.
Bro.
SoundClick, for the record, SoundClick is still there, and it is
Seriously?
a wide library of free beats just there.
Jeez.
Right now.
Wow.
The same free beats that were there then.
That's crazy. I swear I haven't been on SoundClick in at least 15 years. I can at least 15 years. So like we would get a couple before I was making beats like for real. We would get beats off of there, and then we would just record in Acid Pro, have a little demo, and then like perform some of these songs out throughout the city. So yeah, it was a dope time for sure.
Yo, is it like Christian events?
Yeah, like we would just go like to different churches and stuff.
Yeah, it's a wild circuit.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that like because I was like involved in the youth group for a minute at one of these churches, and I was a teenager, and they used to like, there'd be like these random Ontario Christian bands that would get these like they'd come through, but they get like venues. It wouldn't be like corny. They wouldn't be like full, but they'd still get the venues, and they'd still like be like bigger scale, and you'd pay your $20 and whatever. So it's like I could see how that could be like really huge experience points, learning how to perform and like And you're all
Yeah.
like young teenagers and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. I remember I was like 14, 15. We were performing at performing at a local church, and this is when Curtis Blow became like super reformed, and he started making gospel rap music. So we opened up for Curtis Blow, and it was pretty crazy. I didn't get to meet him personally, but like it was super super tight though.
That's still a huge teenage flex. And is this what it is?
Yeah,
That's a big one. So you're running that
yeah,
for a
for
minute.
sure.
Do you guys actually release music as well? Like, are you dropping things or?
Um, I'm trying to think. I think like we just had like a little demo that we would just kind of pass out, but it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything like super serious, I guess. Well, it was serious to me, but yeah, we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything like monetize off of it or anything like that. So it was had like a little demo and tried to shop it around, and that was pretty much it.
Right. Um. So I guess what happens after that? Like, what ends that group? I suppose.
I'm trying to think what did end it. I think one of the guys just dropped out, and then we just kind of like disbanded after that because like we were in high school, so we stopped when I was probably about 16. So like we did it for about 2 3 years, and we all got in high school and we got busy. Like whenever I was in high school, I played basketball, I ran track. I did a couple of other things, being involved in school, and I just didn't have time to do a whole bunch of stuff anymore. So I think part of that, and all of us just kind of growing and growing apart, I guess, for the most part. So yeah, that's probably why.
That makes a lot of
It just
sense.
kind of happened. Now that I think about it.
So I guess in high school, how does it progress for you?
How? So repeat that question again. You
Yeah,
kind
how
of
does
broke
like
up.
high school progress for you with that? So you're at this point now. I guess there's more sports and other things going on. Are you still like
Yeah.
involved in music? You're still playing instruments? Like with
hmm
regards to all of that, do you end up doing new things?
hmm Yeah. So in middle school, while I was actually doing all of this, I played in our middle school band. I was just like played like a whole bunch of different percussion instruments. So it was like snare, bass, timpani, uh, xylophone, all of that stuff. I stopped doing that in eighth grade because I was just like, nah, I'm not doing this in high school. I'm not putting a uniform on and marching at the football games. I'm good on that. I was like, I want to play sports, so when I went to high school, I played basketball all 4 years. I ran track all 4 years also. Um, so I did that, and this is whenever I really started to make beats. So like I said, I started making beats in '07. So this is like my freshman year. So I remember my one of my homies that I rode the bus with. He had FL Studio 6. He had FL Studio 6. So I was like, yo, let me take your CD home so I can install it, because I didn't know anything about cracks or torrents or anything like that. And plus, I was on my mom's computer, so I wasn't trying to kill it. So yeah, I get that on an old Gateway computer, and we just started making beats and going from there. I remember my first couple of beats were terrible, terrible. But then this is whenever I was getting into Kanye. Um, like Kanye is like my favorite artist. Like I don't care like about any of the stuff that's going on now, but like he's my favorite artist. And as far as like production, like whenever I heard College Dropout, I heard no production like that. So I wanted to try and make beats like that. And then
Yo, we just got a
I
Ismail.
was
Ismail has a question for you.
okay.
Do you remember the first sample you ever used?
Yes, funny thing, I was just about to say that the first sample that I used, "You're All I Need" from the Isley Brothers. That was the first sample that I used. Beat wasn't good at all. The beat was terrible. I think I still have it somewhere, some burnt CD in my storage or something. Yeah, that was the first beat that I sampled. But I was making beats on an old Gateway computer, and just trying to progress from there, man. So I did that all 4 years. I had a couple friends who, were trying to rhyme and stuff. So I would just, throw them some trash beats because that's all I had. So, we would do that for a little bit in high school, and that was it. And I was still trying to rhyme. So I went solo. So I was doing gospel rap until I was about 17. And so I was about 17, and so I was making my own beats then, and throwing them. I didn't release any of them. I just threw them on MySpace, and I had like a good 5 joints on MySpace. So that was my whole thing throughout high school.
Yeah, I got a question. What is your
Yeah.
favorite of the gospel church songs?
As far as rap,
Nah, just
um,
like all the gospel
just
church
gospel
songs.
songs.
Like, what's your favorite like church song?
Trying to think, man, because so many of them. Because I had to play so many of them
That's why I'm
too.
curious what your thoughts
Um,
are, because it's different
yeah.
than when you're just singing it with the congregations.
I I at the top of my head, I can't put a finger on it, honestly. I really couldn't answer it, bro.
No
Because
worries,
like
man.
so many is just running through here, and I just can't pick just one.
So
Like
pick like a
I
few.
can give you an artist. I can give you an artist for sure. Like Kirk Franklin's always a go-to. Fred Hammond is always a go-to. Mary is always a go-to also. Really anything from Mary. Just because like that's whenever I heard like people like Mary, that's whenever you could kind of hear kind of like a commercial sort of appeal. A commercial appeal with like gospel music. Like you could play it on, radio any day other than a Sunday for the most part. So yeah, those are my go-tos as far as artists. But I can't give you a song per se.
That's fair. I felt that with what's that fucking shit? I'm failing to remember. There's this one rock band that dropped a track in like '94 that was fucking super alternative grunge shit. It'll pop into my head in a bit, but like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a few of them when you hear like, or DC Talks fucking Jesus Freak or things like that, where like they just like slap in
I
a
was,
way.
bro. I was about to say, "Diverse City" from Toby Mac, bro.
Mm.
That was the joint in middle school.
But yeah, like those kinds of
That's
things,
funny.
like I would hear, cause I was really into like, and then when I got to like college, we have this thing called Cégep. It's like the last year of your high school and the first year of your university, and it's a whole separate school thing in the middle. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
was in that shit. I was in the Christian fellowship, so like the only rule you could only play Christian music in that room. So I started like delving back into time and looking for like what sounded dope. Turned out the metal scene was really lit at that time for Christian
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
But
Wasn't like Corn or like people like that or something
the
like
guitarist from
some group.
Korn at that point had quit to go because he became Christian and could no longer maintain the hedonistic lifestyle associated with Korn and their music. But it was stuff
Mm,
like As I Lay Dying and Demon Hunter and a bunch of these other bands. The shit was like better than the mainstream alternative. It was like the only time I was like, whoa, that is the
mm-hmm.
mainstream. Like that is the dopest
Word,
shit. And I was like, that's not common, and it's all the Christian
word.
bands for some reason lashing out like that. But it was really a good time, like for a lot of groups kind of like create that legitimate vibe with it and cross over. And I remember a lot of the purists in the church, like the older heads. It's the same
Mm.
thing like hip hop. The older head
Yeah,
Christians would be like,
yeah,
nah, that ain't like
yeah.
morose praising Jesus at slow tempo music. It's not right.
That's worldly music. Yeah,
But I'm like, yo, but like they praising God. They're like that.
exactly.
Nah, that's
Yeah,
not. I have
yeah,
bringing me back here. That's fair though. So you
for
do
sure.
so you do the gospel stuff till 17. But what makes you like not do it anymore?
I don't know. I just kind of grew away from it. Not I didn't grow away from like the religion. I just grew away from the music. Because it just wasn't what I was listening to anymore at the time. Um so it just kind of I don't know, it just kind of happened. I guess it's a blur for the most part. I just don't like the memory's a little hazy, but I don't it wasn't anything major that kind of turned me away from making the music. It just kind of happened.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So, I guess you finished high school not long after that, and you're already
Mm-hmm.
at this point a rapping, beat making guy who knows how to perform. That
Mm-hmm.
is a pretty jack skill set for future endeavors at this point.
True.
So,
True.
so what happens after high school?
What happens after high school? I go to college. Go to Florida A&M University, FAMU. We're like legit right down the street from Florida State. So yeah, and this is I guess backtracking before I go here. My name before before Backpack. I used to go by Living Proof. I have no idea where the name came from. It just kind of happened. So I still went by Living Proof whenever I got to college. But this is whenever like my what's the word I'm looking for? This is whenever the style just changed completely. This is like whenever I actually got good. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I was doing. So I get to college first week. This is pretty much this goes into how I got my name also. So my freshman year, I've never been around so many other people that could rhyme, right? So well, for those that don't know, FAMU, Florida A&M, we're HBCU, Historical Black College and University. So it's really like 97% Black people that go there.
Okay, that's like an actual designation thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So with HBCUs,
just remember I'm in Canada, so some of this stuff isn't inherent.
Yeah, let me I'll explain it then. So like I said, a HBCU is a historical Black college and university. They're mainly the colleges that they've been here since like a lot of them have been here since like the late 1800s. So these were the colleges that the Black people went to for higher education because of segregations and other higher education systems, right? So a lot of these schools what am I saying? A lot of these schools, like in the southern region of the states, a lot of important people actually graduated from HBCUs. Also, like a lot of them. There's a college in Washington D.C. called Howard. Let me see, like Kamala Harris has graduated from there. DJ Drama, Diddy. Let me see, Diddy's graduated from there. Let me see who else, and then like you have other HBCUs. Then like with my school, we had a lot of important people graduate from there also. Like let me see, we have Common. He went to school there.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with the producer Needles. He graduated from there. If you watch That's So Raven, Raven's mom, she graduated from there. Let me see who else, man. Just like a bunch of there's a couple more important people that graduated from there also. That you might be familiar with. But yeah,
these are the colleges that Black people had to go to prior to segregation. Mm-hmm. So basically to this day, exactly, where mostly a lot of Black people go still because of life.
Exactly. Yep. So I say all that to say when I was in high school, I'll say it like this. When I was in high school, my graduating class were 500, and 9 of us were other. So not just Black. 9 of us were minorities out of the 500, right? So whenever I go from high school to college, I've never seen this many people that could rhyme because it's 97% Black people. You know what I mean? So I go there, and this is whenever. I guess this was like right before people like really just started making beats, like how you kind of knew maybe like 5 people who made beats, and then like all of a sudden 50 million people make beats now. So we would go to the ciphers. This is the first week of school. Like I've never seen this many people rhyme in a cipher. So I usually carry my laptop with me everywhere I go because I got FL Studio. I started making beats on Fruity Loops. So I started making beats on Fruity Loops probably like 2012. So I usually carry my laptop with me because I'm either in my dorm room, I'm either in the cafeteria, I'm either somewhere. I got my laptop, I'm making beats. So so these people, they're ciphering with no beats. So I pull my laptop, which has the beats, out of my backpack, played beats, and the name stuck. Backpack Beatz. So so I say all that to say this is whenever I started making beats in college, still rhyming. I remember I bought this is whenever the snowball had came out, the USB mic. Uh,
Yo, I had
yeah,
me one of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
The
Everybody did.
ball,
You know what I
right?
mean? So
The little
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yep,
$70.
exactly. So
You could afford that motherfucker.
exactly. Exactly. So I definitely used some financial aid, went to Best Buy and grabbed one. So I remember I was the in my dorm on my floor. I was the only person that had a mic. So my dorm room became the studio for everybody who was trying to rhyme. So I remember we go to class from 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, however you set your schedule, till about 4 o'clock. Then from 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock till about 5 in the morning, we're making, like, a lot of people on my floor, maybe the floor before. We would come, everybody would be in our dorm making beats, making music. And shout out to my roommate Caleb. He is from I'd never met him until I got to college, and just so happened that he was a DJ. So we just clicked. We clicked just like that on the first day. So he's DJing, I'm making beats, I'm bringing people in, we're rhyming, we're making beats, and that really sharpened my skills and really got me going from there.
Yeah, it's wild to think about it. So like I dropped out of university because like I was in psychology and it felt bleak. Because at the time it was like a 10
Mm,
years to no job and everyone was saying there's no money in this field and I'm like, oh shit. And so I dropped out. It wasn't the
mhm,
move for me.
mhm,
But I didn't know at the time the incubator nature of the social structure of universities and colleges. Sure,
mhm.
I'm like hearing what you're describing here. It's like that's actually kind of worth some money down the line. Just to have that kind of
Mm-hmm.
like fishbowl environment that forces people to like collaborate like that. Like y'all wouldn't have linked up if you weren't in that dorm room. Like that's just the
Yeah,
realities
exactly.
of the situation.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, y'all probably got some hella interesting experiences out of running your own little dorm room studios and shit, and
Yeah.
just the ethic, the grind, the I can just imagine the encouragement. Like you can't slack if 8 other people be down to ride.
Exactly. And then, like, when you're with all of these people, you're either, if they don't tell you, you're gonna find out, if you have a whack verse or if you have a whack beat, or so just being in that circle just helps you sharpen your sword so much, because everybody's out here sparring. So if you need help with a rhyme, or it's just Wu Tang, but just with 50 people. You know what I mean? So it was just sharpening the sword. So
That's wild, dude. Doing a lot of performing and stuff over that period too.
freshman year, probably not, because we were
Actually,
really
that's all.
just focused
That's
on
just all
going.
freshman year. There's still the rest
This
of
is
it.
all freshman year.
Say
Yeah,
word.
this is all freshman year. Yeah, I didn't really start performing until probably about 2011, 12, because the thing with the city that our college is in, they didn't really show love to rap. So they didn't like the extracurriculars that came with doing a rap show. So stuff didn't really start opening up. So like 2011, 2012. So if it wasn't something that was going on our campus, then we weren't. We were just in the lab just creating. But that freshman sophomore year, we had a lot of college shows. Yeah. So like 2011, 2012, that's whenever we really start getting active, just doing shows and all of that stuff. So that was whenever stuff just started going. People would notice us, go to another city. People will notice us over there, and we're still going to school. We still got to go to class in the morning. So we would take care of all of that.
Yeah, that's wild. We got like
Yeah.
so. Were you a collective?
Yeah, so my freshman year we had a collective. We were called High Class Entertainment. I still got the T-shirt in my room, actually. Yeah, High Class Entertainment. So we would uh, we would do the music. We would do the music, but my roommate, who was a DJ, he would also promote parties and stuff at the various clubs and stuff. Because the city that like I'm in Tallahassee, Florida. So this is where the college is at. So Tallahassee is the capital of Florida. So
Okay, I didn't even
With
know that.
yeah. See, with Tallahassee, if you have the Capitol building, but you have three different colleges and universities that are there. So you have the local community college, you have Florida State, and then right down the street you have FAMU. So College City, party, 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 every day except for Sunday for the most part. So I would handle the music side. We had a couple projects that we dropped, and then my guy Caleb, he would handle the promotion side and all of that. So yeah, that's what we were doing. So for probably about 3 years. So it was pretty dope.
That's wild. Did you have merch and all that good stuff? I guess you had a
No,
hoodie with
we
it,
didn't.
but like,
Nah, we didn't actually. We just we had stuff for us, but we didn't have stuff that we were selling.
mm,
We had the mind state to do it. We just didn't have the funds to
okay,
do it. Yeah, so like we were already in that mode. I remember my roommate, he bought a heat press and all of that stuff. So we had the mindset. We just had to have we didn't have the proper funds to really do what we really wanted to do.
it definitely makes sense. So I
Yeah,
guess what happens after the college phase?
got you. Shoot. I'm starting to realize I'm really long winded. I haven't even got to 2013 yet. Jeez.
No, this is
So let
good.
me
This is the goal. That's what this show
yeah.
is. We're not
Oh,
the
perfect.
we're not the one where you answer it all with time limits and shit. We're like the other
Word,
one.
word. So yeah, let me I'll power through some of this thing.
You
So
don't even have to
uh
power through it, my guy. If
no, I
need
have to
be,
think about it.
we do a
I have
part
to
two
think
if
about
there's
it.
that much detail. That's how it
Word.
goes.
Nah, it's not that much. It's not that bad. So along with this, I come out with like two projects as Living Proof, and then I just dropped the whole Living Proof moniker, and then I just stayed Backpack Beatz the entire time. So my thing, my major that I majored in broadcast journalism. So with my school,
That's cool.
my school is probably like top 5 as far as journalism program in the States. So we were like super, super serious with everything that we were doing. But so like we would always have people, like I got homies that work for ESPN right now. I have homies that work like for all these like different major news networks and stuff in the States. So that's what we were doing. But I didn't want to do any of that. I wanted to write for Double XL. That was my whole thing, because music was my thing. So while I was in college, everybody knew me. Everybody knew me as the guy that make beats and the guy that was on the radio, because I did college radio from my sophomore year up until I graduated. So I ran 3 different shows. I did a talk show, I did an old school show, and my claim to fame is my hip hop show that I did. So I was the only person.
So tell us
I was
about your claim to fame hip hop show.
Yeah, I got you. So I ran a hip hop show called The Heart of the City, and I was the one that was playing new music, old school music, and the main thing that I always played was local music. It was a 3-hour show, so I would do 1 hour of just all the new music that was coming out, because this is blog era. So anything that was hot coming out new, I would always play that. Did an hour for old school, and then I dedicated an entire hour to playing local artists, because our major stations didn't play anybody local. So I was the only person that was. It was kind of like a Stretch and Bobbito sort of situation. Everybody would submit music, and if I thought it was dope, then I would play it on the show. So everybody, that's how I got a really big network, and I was able to start doing a lot of shows in the city, because I was able to put all of these artists on and give people an ear to what we were doing. And we're FM station. So everybody was able to listen to it in the car. You're just scrolling through stations and stuff. So everybody knew that at 10 o'clock PM, you're listening to my show. So that was the thing that I did for a couple of years for sure.
Yeah, what's really cool about that is, in theory, if they're all registered on the BMIs and the app scans and shit, you get that like radio money.
Yeah, exactly.
As small
And the thing
scale as
about
it
it,
is.
yeah, the thing about it, we were not educated at all. Like that was around the time. I mean, like we're 19, 20, 21. We're trying to we were trying to learn it ourselves for the most part, just trying to figure out everything. You know, what is a sample clearance? How do I register this? All of that stuff. So everything got really, really hazy for a lot of us as artists and producers. So yeah, it was crazy. But like around the around the time doing all of this, I'm still making beats. So I would and this is whenever I got really, really, really good. I felt at the time making beats. Finally got my first placement. I got my first placement like 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, DJ Mick Boogie. He had he did a compilation, a compilation with Adidas called Brooklyn Originals. So this had like a whole bunch of artists from Brooklyn. So I did a joint with CJ Fly and Kirk Knight from Pro Era called I Ain't Late. It's a really good record. It's dated, but it's a really good record. That was my first sample or my first placement. And then the balls just started rolling from there. So, I had a couple, I did a couple things from that level, but did a lot of stuff locally. And that's what was really sharpening my sword and making me into a better producer.
Yeah, it's wild. So basically, how do you get placements?
Um, Shoot, man, just this is when Instagram was just like beginning to pop. But I was still on Twitter crazy. Uh, I was like I said, I'm always searching for music. Being a DJ and radio host and stuff. So, I'm looking at these artists and I'm like, yo, you're dope. Let me send you some beats. And from there, just hit it off with a couple of different artists. And that's how I got it. Because in Florida, there's not like from this as far as a mainstream level, there wasn't like a whole bunch of like hardcore hip hop. You know what I mean? It was a lot of like commercial hip hop that was getting played on the radio. Not like necessarily hardcore hip hop artists. So like all of the artists that I was listening to, they're New York, East Coast, like, stuff like that. And so that's who I was really gravitating towards to send these beats to. So a lot of hopping in Twitter DMs, a lot of cold emails and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's how we got the ball rolling.
So basically, you just put in a lot of really long work.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's
for
like
sure.
I just find it like I mean, you end up having conversations, and a lot of times you wonder how like that's the big question, and the answer
Yeah,
always just seems to be like I messaged a lot of people, or I put myself into places where I met a lot of people, and then via process of elimination, I found a few.
yeah, exactly. Like going out to festivals, um, going out to festivals. 'Cause like down here in Atlanta, they have the A3C festival, and that was the spot where you could actually see a lot of these underground artists in person. Um, and I did a beat battle. I was in two beat battles there. This is 2013. I had two beat battles in there, and I remember the first. I thought I was nice. I thought I was nice because I was like one of the nicest in my city, and I thought I was nice till I got to Atlanta, and I did this first round. First round. I remember the producer still. His name's Black Metaphor. He's got I think he's got a Grammy now. I think he's got a couple Grammys now at this point. Um, but yeah, it was crazy. And I remember, I don't know if you listened to the Game's album, the Red album. But the Game has this joint called Ali Boumaye, and he played that beat. Black Metaphor produced that beat and played that beat in the first round of a beat battle against me. I was out. I was devastated, but I went back home and just got back on the grind, man, and just started emailing artists again and hopping in the DMs again.
Yeah, I guess that's that 'cause people know the beat, and then
Yeah,
they're gonna
yeah,
go,
it
"Which
was.
beat do y'all like better?"
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy.
That's definitely a real. I guess that happens, eh? Like you think you're in a situation. I've had that. I've met a few people where I'm like, "Oh, say a word." I don't
Hmm.
have accolades next to you. I haven't done
Hmm.
anything next to some people
Hmm.
I've met, and I'm like, okay. That's humility.
Yeah.
Gotta go work harder now. Gotta go do my thing.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So yeah.
But still, like, it's cool that you traveled and like put that put that effort into like getting out there and creating the opportunities. So I
Yeah,
guess
for
what
sure.
happens after 2013?
Just started grinding, bro. Just really grinding it out. The hip hop scene in the city was actually really good. We actually had some talented artists that were doing stuff, and I was, everybody knew if you wanted to rap, you come to me for a dope beat if you're not getting it off of YouTube, So so just steady sharpening the sword, man. Even going back the second time the second time I went did the beat battle at A3C, I lost in the first round again. But one of the judges was his name was Easy LP. So he's pretty much my mentor at this point. He liked what, even though I lost in the first round, he still liked my music. So we connected there, and with his help, I was able to stay on the grind. And for those who aren't familiar with Easy LP, he uh he produced Get Money for Junior Mafia. He uh he did what else did he do? He did Iraq for Capone and Noriega. He did Uchi Wally for Nas. He did Special Delivery for G Dep. Uh, Getaway for Mob Deep. Uh, what else? He's done a whole bunch of stuff, but he's really a part of that bad boy camp. And he took me under his wing. He's like, yo, we're gonna make some beats, try and get me out there. So with his help, I was able just to stay on the grind consistently, still doing the Twitter DMing because that was pretty much what to do from that point. But a lot of people started to gravitate towards my music, and using that 6 degrees of separation, was able to really connect the dots and really connect with a lot of these artists, and something I still do to this day for the most part. Just grinding it out. That's it.
It's amazing how much though it's like it's a social media game, but like really proactive. It's
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
almost like the way you get messages on LinkedIn. Like you got to be
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah, for sure,
That's
for
wild.
sure.
So at what point like do you start twitching?
Crazy thing, I started switching in February. I started switching in February because I wanted to do it like right whenever COVID started. Because I'm always on Twitch, watching people play, games and stuff like that. But I didn't know the music circle. If that's what, I didn't know that it was as crazy as it was. Um, Shout out to my man Vanderslice. He's a really dope producer also, and he was the first person that like kind of introduced me to watching people make beats on Twitch, and that's pretty much how I met like the circle of people that I interact with on Twitch all the time, and just 6 degrees of separation from a lot of these people also. But yeah, I've only been streaming since February, man. So
Who are the people in the circle of people that you make beats with? Who's the beat maker posse?
Um, I'm not personally a part of a posse, but the people that I watch, shout out to my man Soy is Real. Um, he's a really dope producer. Let me
Yeah,
see.
that
Shout
guy
out to
has
Vandal.
an interview show called Bridge the Gap, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Because that's what this show's called. I'm
That's
like,
funny.
and then he also wears fucking hats like mine and his glasses and shit, and I'm like, bro, what the hell is I like
It's
this
the
guy though.
it's
I
the
like him a
American
lot.
version. It's the American version. Yeah, he's dope. Yeah, Soy is Real, Vanderslice. Um, Shout out to Dance Like Butter. Let me see. Shout out to Dennis versus Food. Yeah, those are like the main people. My man Titanium Jones also. Um, yeah, just a lot of these people, and a lot like everybody's from different areas. Like I want to say Dance Like Butter is from he's from Cali. Uh, Soy is Real. He's from Cali, but he lives in Florida. Vanderslice is from Pennsylvania, so that's like East Coast. I'm in Chicago. So it's just like all of these networks of people, and none of them are in the same city. But in like you yourself, you're not even from the States, so it's
Yeah.
just stuff like that that is that really made me want to stream and made me want to keep streaming.
Okay, how do you find people? We are finding it wildly difficult to find people on Twitch. Like the search is garbage.
To be honest, everybody, like legit, everybody that I found is from a raid. Like legit,
Mm.
everybody that I found is from a raid. So it's like a lot of people, they'll raid the homie, and the homie ends up being dope, So, because like usually I don't follow on a raid until maybe like an hour into a raid. Like I gotta like really, really, like the person and really be interested in what they're doing. So everything has really come from a raid, man.
Yeah, like Ismail just said, DJs are easy to find, but not rappers.
Yeah.
Like you can find
And
a
then
million people with an
mhm,
instrument, a guitar, piano. They have the exclamation mark covers, and then you get their list of songs, and there's like circuits like that. I
yeah,
just
yeah,
count.
yeah.
I find that some rappers don't. There's a lot of freestyle posses, I would call it, but
hmm
not like songwriters. I can't find the fucking songwriters on Twitch.
The thing that I have, not even just Twitch, man. The thing that I've realized with a lot of like MCs and like songwriters and stuff like that, they're usually just in the crib. They don't come outside, if that makes sense. Like they're usually like in their little cocoon and don't interact, and that's one of the problems that I'm having as a producer, also just trying to find people. Um, but then you have people like Ismail Gadamzi who puts people on and actually enjoys the music and enjoys the vibes and introduces that person to other people. People
Yeah.
aren't really like that anymore.
There's a few of them out there, but I think we don't. So here's my theory. I didn't really think people were like that till Ismail shows up in my life in like what, fucking 2017. He shows up on my
Yeah.
album reviews. Just appears. He was
Or
Mozart back then, and he won
hmm
my fucking contest that I was doing at the time.
hmm
And I found out he's in Montreal. I'm like, oh, that's
that's
fucking.
crazy.
That's like like, and he
Yeah.
becomes like my first patron. And he's in the city. I'm like, that's wild. That's wild shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's clearly here today. We've like actually met at this point. It's fucking cool to think about. It's
That's
like a 4
fire.
fucking years later and shit. Yeah,
That's dope.
Mozart wasn't a corny name. I like that name. I actually really liked Mozart. um, but yeah, and then he started buying people's music and shit. And I'm like, yo, I wonder how many Ismails are in front of my face.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
cause yo, we got that attitude where this shit doesn't exist, but it clearly exists. It's just,
Mhm.
sometimes I find like we don't look for it. And then now it's like, well, if Ismail exists, there's got to be like 100 Ismails out there.
Yeah. Facts.
And
Exactly.
and then I wonder like how much of it is we don't foster the environments to attract the Ismails.
Mm, that's a great point.
And
That's a great point.
so like that became a lot more, I think, anecdotally, I've watched a lot of people cater to the artists, and I don't think artists knows, like we don't always know what the consumer wants, or and I don't mean to use the word consumer. I'm just like my day job has me use that language, but
hmm
effectively
hmm
it's the same shit. The guy coming to your show is a consumer. We don't often think consumer centric, which would be about like the experience. So user experience is like a big passion of mine at work, like how to create the ultimate UX, because that reduces negative reputation points on your company. So if you have an ill ass
Mm,
user experience, people love your shit and they net promote that motherfucker. That's the mission,
hmm
And I
hmm
find like a lot of shows are like they start late because rappers don't want to show up at a certain time. That's
hmm
why they start late. It's not because they can't be booked earlier. And I know this because I've talked to like a lot of people on the subject, and that's basically my summation of it is
Yeah,
if the
for
guy's not
sure.
going to show up till 9, why are we going to bother? And I'm like, well, fuck it. Don't book that dude. Book the next dude who will show up at 7 kind of thing. Anyway, that's just where my head's at with
Yeah.
it. But like, we don't really think about it. So a lot of people who might be really like what we're looking for don't know this shit exists because it doesn't
Yeah.
exist in a world where they exist. because the average person like works 9 to 5 and like can't be out Thursday at 11 p.m. and type of shit. Like that's some student stuff, which is blessed, but like the greater part of the population is not in university.
Mhm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. These are the kinds
Yeah,
of
that
things I
makes
think
sense.
about. Or even with Twitch, like I try hard to keep my
Yeah.
shit in like hours where I think people are gonna be awake. Like that is my
Hmm.
number one rule. Is like, so like I have this guy in Europe I'm gonna do in November. It's like, okay, gotta do it at noon so that it's like 7 his time, and then his audience can be like, that shit matters, you know. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling now, but
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. No, because like the thing, I fight with this all the time. Like I'm still fighting myself with fighting with it for Twitch. Also, I've been trying to figure out. I've been trying to balance on how do I how do I find how do I find a bigger space for people, but also still catering to the ones that are here and actually like what I'm, that actually like what I'm doing. Um, because like I used to think like forget everybody who's, not rocking with my stuff, and I'm really here for the ones that support what I'm doing, but I would but then I would just kind of forget about the outside world for the most part, if that makes sense. So I definitely see what you're saying, and that's just an ongoing thing that I'm still trying to figure out. Also,
yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to like get next level to at the next level of whatever that means. But the one thing I know is it's like the collective is the only way to move. Honestly, like
yeah,
I've struggled a lot to convince people to go on Twitch for XYZ reasons. I don't know. A lot of people don't even have great internet, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about sometimes on availability, but like it kind of makes it like weird. Like I just raid random people. I don't actually have like a person that like I've linked up with and I'm dedicated to raiding because it just
hmm,
I don't know. I'm I
yeah,
just
I
you know
feel you.
how to like figure that shit out because like you said with these beatmaker squad I see it, and then I realized like the freestyler chat people have that shit locked up too, and Harry Mack I think is king of that shit, and then like
Mhm.
there's a few other ones like Thug Shells and other names where I'm like, well, I don't really do that, but that's lit that they all got that shit kind of on lock like that, and it makes me wonder like what other lanes are there for this music
Yeah,
shit, right? Like outside of like, because I mean the beat maker, like I'm not a beat maker. But we did get a question from Zamanel, who's also another one of them that like he's just there and big
mhm,
respect in the same vein of people that we pretend maybe don't exist sometimes.
yeah.
But could you speak about the no more free beats thing? What's the story behind this, and how do you feel about free beats?
Okay, word. So I started. Okay, I'll start with the mindset, right? I'll start with the no more freebies mindset, right? So the the one thing that I was always noticing is, especially with rappers, especially with college rappers, they're cheap. You know, they're super cheap. So you would pay your weed man, you would pay your engineer, you would pay your videographer, uh, you would pay your graphic designer, even though you pay your graphic designer pennies. And the producer's always left out, you know? So your studio guy, he's able to pay his rent. He doesn't have to work. Because you're paying 8 hours of studio time. Um, but then like whenever you're asking for a beat, you're asking me to, give it, even though it takes me 5-10 minutes to make a really good beat, you're asking me to, give this up so you can go out and go get your iTunes money, go, go get your CD money and all that. And I'm just left with crumbs. So I was just like, uh, that's whenever I started to get into that mindset of just no more free beats, like, give me something for my time, give me something for my talent, give me something for my efforts. That's, I want to pay my rent. But then the thing that the thing that people get confused is whenever I say whenever I say no more free beats, people just think it's a monetary thing, but it's not. So whenever I say no more free beats, replace beats with anything that you're passionate in, right? And that you want to do whenever you're older, right? Or whenever what you want to do, what you're passionate in, and what you want to do for the rest of your life. Um, so whenever I say it's not always monetary, sometimes it's just a connection. Sometimes it's an experience. Uh, sometimes it's something like that. It's not always monetary. It's like, for example, shout out to my homie Lyric Jones. She's a really really dope MC, and I actually met her at A3C through my man Stats the MC. Shout out to um, I was, for example, like I would make beats for my homie Stats, and like he had a lot of connections of just people that he knew, and just because he rocked with me, he rocked with me. That's my brother, man. I love that man. Um, but he would introduce these other artists to me and be like, yo, his music is dope, come rock with him, and that's part of the no more free beats. That's the opportunity right there, that I wouldn't have got, hitting the Twitter DM most likely, so that's pretty much how it all started. And I like rocking stuff. I used to work at Lids. I used to be a manager of Lids for like 5 years while I was in school.
Hold on, what's Lids?
Oh,
What is
Lids.
it?
Oh, sorry. I forgot the states. So Lids is just a hat store. Okay. So that's where you get all of your hats from. So I used to be the manager of one of their stores for like 5 years. So I would always do custom stuff. We would have custom embroidery. So we would, do custom hats. We could stitch stuff on t-shirts. So off the clock, sometimes on the clock, I would make custom stuff for me. Whether it was just like my name on a hat, or a logo or something like that. So I was like, yo, I think I can monetize off this just a little bit, so that's pretty much where the brand came from. And that was it, man. So long story short, that's really it.
Wild.
Or long story long.
I'm really into 4 words as a brand name that can really like connect, like those, like maybe not 4 words per, but those little like short snippets that can like connect with people and just sell without you. Like that's, to me, that's gold. That's a golden thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And I appreciate your distinction in free, because I'm all about free beats. Like I throw up quotation because like I work out. I at the very least have a relationship with everybody I've ever gotten a free beat from. So I don't know if it's really free at that point.
Exactly.
But like,
yeah, and then those people that'll hit the Instagram DM and be like, yo, can I get some beats? And I'm just like, can I get a bag? I don't know you, sort of thing, And that's the thing with me too. I don't put my beats on BeatStars, or I don't really put anything on YouTube or anything like that, because I try to have a relationship, or some sort of relationship or rapport with somebody that I'm doing music with. I would hate to have like the worst rapper in the world rapping on my beat, because it's a waste of a beat, because nobody's going to hear it.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. I think it's cool. Yeah. On the other hand, I don't know how many, like you're doing like a beat a day. Is that like your challenge right now?
It was at one point, and life got ahead of me. So I used to do that. Like I started doing a beat a day, like probably like 2018. I could keep it up for about 4 months. I keep it up for about 4 months, and I would kind of trail off, so it just started being I make them when I make them, for the most part. So, because nowadays I really only make beats on Twitch, so which is the crazy part,
Why do you say that?
That's the time. Whenever I'm not at my day job, I know I have this time to make beats. If that makes sense, I know I'm making beats when I'm on stream. So that's the time that I know I'm going to be in the lab. Like sometimes I can make like one or two off stream, but it's really like That's the main time. And then I like the pressure of having people watching, knowing. And then I know you're not a beat maker, but I know some people in the chat probably might understand this also. As you know, as somebody who does a lot of samples and somebody who makes a lot of beats and stuff, there'll be some beats that like I'll start on, and then if I was by myself, 5 minutes, 10 minutes into it, if I'm not feeling it, I can just scrap it all together. But being on stream and seeing the chat, say, hey, maybe if you do such and such, maybe this will work, or maybe they just like the beat, it'll let me not scrap it, and it'll just let me keep going until I eventually get something that I personally like.
Yeah, I definitely empathize with that situation. I always the pressure of having to perform.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
started writing songs on stream, and it's
Mm-hmm.
different. It's definitely
Where?
because like you also can't be slow. That was the other part I realized. Yo, the stream is awful if you get like writer's block. Like you gotta
Yeah.
like figure that shit out and move it on so that it like stays alive. And I'm like, okay, this is a whole other vibe. But then like off cam, I'm like faster now, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like the pressure is like wildly cool. Like even the
Yeah.
interview, like we're live right now. I know there's people
Mm-hmm.
watching. I can't fuck up. I mean, I might,
Yeah.
but like I can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
Good question that we got from Ismail again. Has a sample request improved your skills?
Sample request has improved. Well, this is the perfect question for him because he supplied me with so many sample requests because he's got the channel points for it. Yeah, it definitely has because especially like with somebody like him, it could be a song that I've never heard of. Um, and then the that goes along with the pressure. Um, some people might give me an off the wall sample or something like that may not work to a normal person, but the pressure of not wanting to give somebody their channel points back will help me make it, because the thing about it, like I said, I've been streaming since February. I may have figured out maybe like 3 weeks ago how to refund channel points anyway. So I didn't know how to do it at first, and I can keep it that way. So I'll just the pressure of just doing that and having people watch you make the sample and or make the beat from the sample, really really helps out.
Yo, I got a question then. What are
Yeah.
your channel point rewards?
Okay, so I don't know the numbers, but the what they are. I have a hat change. I have hat change because I have like at least 50 million hats. Um, I have the sample request. I have the 10-minute challenge where I have to find a sample, make a beat in 10 minutes. I also have the freestyle channel points. So while I'm making the beat, throw a little freestyle out there, something like that. Try to keep it 16 to 32 bars. That's where I feel like I've done my job. What else do I have? You have your regular water break, but those are like the main ones that I do to keep my stuff going.
All
So
right, let me ask you another question because I'm terrible at this part. Discord. You have a Discord.
my Discord is trash, bro.
If you
It's
think your
like,
Discord is trash, come look at how trash my Discord is.
send me the invite.
I will
Yeah,
do that.
because it's I probably just got in the Discord maybe 2 months ago. Because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about it until I got on Twitch, honestly. I would hear like some YouTubers say it every now and then, but it's not on the level that
Yeah.
it is for Twitch. So it's just finding the time to figure out how to have like the different categories and actually, be involved, trying to do all of that, making sure the bots are working correctly and
Bots, eh?
stuff like that.
I don't
Yeah.
have a single bot on my Twitch. Or my
Oh,
Discord,
sorry.
sorry. No, on my Twitch I have bots. On my Discord I don't have any. I'm like, but you said there's bots I need to have. Fuck my life.
Yeah, there's bots that I still need to have because like my thing is like it's funny because like I'm no more free beats, but I try to find everything free. So
I'm with
as
you.
far as like the bots and stuff like that, so just making sure I have all of that to make my life go easier. But my Discord is pretty boo boo. So
I realized it's like, okay, so Facebook has Facebook groups, And that's really what you're trying to be pushing for if you're on Facebook, because everything else is trash on Facebook, but your groups is like where your people be at.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the internet, there's Discord, and that's the Facebook group of everything else. And
Yeah.
I'm spending so much time on Facebook and never clicked that like people weren't on Facebook until like this year, when I learned that like how the fuck do you do this on Instagram? And I'm like dying. Like I can't figure out how to like think fully in a lot of these like ways to translate some of my ideas. So like I feel like Discord is like really important now, as there's a decentralization of social media across the fan bases.
Yeah.
Like if you're on a Twitch, you're dealing with people on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and everything at the same time, right? Like it's not like you can pick one of these. It's like you got to find a way to get them all to like a new place, is what I'm realizing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Do you TikTok?
No.
Yo, do you put your beats on TikTok so
Not
the
at all.
rappers can rap
Not
on
at
your
all.
beats?
Thinking about it, but yeah, I'm good. Like it's for one, if I started, I'm not going to be able to keep it up. Like, because it took me a second. It even took me a second to get on Instagram. 'Cause I was so big on Twitter, but but yeah, I'm good. I'm straight. I'll let the kids keep that.
Yeah, Zalmanel just said Holden remembers that Discord exists about once a week, and I'm like, not even that. I'm a little better because Zalmanel started DMing me, and I started chatting with him. So now I was like, I keep it open more, and I'm looking at it. But like, I'll be honest, I don't know what to say. Like,
Exactly.
am I like really the hey guys, good morning? And I'm like, is that who I am? And I don't know if that's what I need to be and stuff. And I haven't figured it out. I haven't figured out like that shit. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to, because you kind of need to. But like, it's like a whole new habit. That's what I realize. And then also, like sometimes I'll say something and then nobody says anything, and then I'm mad at it, and then I know I'm the guilty one because he's not wrong. There were weeks where like I would keep Discord closed for like because it didn't launch with my computer, so I'd restart my computer, and then the little Discord icon's not on my taskbar, and then I see like my Discord thing pop up, and I'm like, oh fuck me, and then I'll see a message from like 7 days ago. I'm like, I'm the worst Discord person ever, but not really ever, but it's like, but I realized it cool because like I've seen like the more successful Twitch channels have like active Discords, and they all do it, and I'm like, oh. And then I realized about a week or two ago you could do shit like watch movies and shit in your Discord, and it would be like avoid all the copyright concerns, and I'm like, shit, I want to do stuff like that. Anyway.
Yeah. Shout out to my man Vanderslice. We watch AEW wrestling like all on his Discord channel like 3 days a week. So yeah, I understand completely.
So are you excited at the direction AEW is taking wrestling?
Yes, bro, because nobody likes WWE, bro. It's I'm good. Cause like the thing about it is I'm a really big fan of Jade Cargill. Like that's Bay. And through her, that's whenever I got introduced to AEW. And it kind of just gave me that love of watching wrestling again, because like whenever I was a kid, the whole Attitude Era and all that stuff, that was the thing that we will always watch. And then like high school, college, I just kind of got off of it. But I just AEW just kind of brought my love and fandom for wrestling back. So I love it.
It's not even just you. I like AEW figured out how to just do this. Like every single wrestling head I know, done. They're on it, and then they all like New Japan, and then New Japan and is working with AEW, and then I don't watch any of it, but I have that many friends into wrestling that like I'm fully up to date with it. Homeboy, like I interviewed him, his fucking like song is like a theme song to one of these wrestlers, the Sir Tizzy dude, and I'm like, that's say fire. A fucking word. Like it's pretty cool how like they keep it authentic with their shit.
Yeah,
that's dope
for sure. Yeah, man, because like I like I said, it's like with the WWE, it's like their Vince McMahon is just like on a, I don't know, bro. He's like a dictator at this point as far as like what he's trying to do to the company, and nobody likes the direction that he's taking it, you know. But then with AEW, it's just like they're letting the wrestlers be themselves, and they're still, you know, having good, great matches, you know. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm I'll inevitably watch wrestling again. It's probably not my biggest priority now, but I get excited that everyone else gets excited by it. Like, I feel like there's such an opportunity for wrestling podcast right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
But
yep.
so like, what's coming next for you over the next like little bit?
What is next for me, man? Getting a re what's the word? Just making my Twitch better. Um, working, still grinding with beats. I've already dropped about 4 EPs with different artists this year already. So just keeping that going and keep grinding. I made these on Twitch Volume 6, dropping that next week. Uh, let me see. Yeah, and I'm picking up the pen again. So I'm trying to get some stuff written. I'm gearing for like maybe like a January, February like EP release or something like that. But just grinding, man, and just trying to get better, work with bigger artists, and just sharpening the sword and just making dope beats. You know, getting the YouTube better also. Just trying to find any way I can monetize off of making the music and just, you know, sharpening the sword.
Yeah, I appreciate that hustle. I don't know if y'all have other questions out there too, just before because like if you have any more, you got good questions this time around. Normally, I'm like not
For
getting
sure. I
as
appreciate everybody in the chat, man.
like these guys watch you is what I'm saying. or I,
Fire. Dope. I appreciate y'all.
but that's like it's a good vibe. I've definitely peeped some of your stuff. I'm not gonna lie. You raid somebody, and the last thing you really want to do is sit there in your chair, and sometimes you want to, but sometimes you
Yeah.
also, I'm like you're like loafing there for like 10 minutes. Um,
Mhm.
so can you talk about the No More Free Beats show?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Like this, like I said, I try to do so much stuff, I forget about stuff. No More Free Beat Show. It's coming back Thursday. I took like a 3 week break because I've been working crazy. But No More Free Beat Show is really just it's just the evolution of my college show. So you know, whenever I was doing college radio, I was actually scared to DJ. So I would just, you know, play music back to back or whatever with no mixing. But with the No More Free Beat Show, it's a weekly show that I do. Um, we play all new music, no old school music. We play all new music. So, you know, if it's popular, unpopular, underground, uh, anything. If it's dope, we're playing it, man. So it's an hour radio show on YouTube, and you know, I try to play as many underground artists as I can, and I put them next to popular artists to show people that are listening to it that these local underground artists can hang with any of these popular artists also. But yeah, it's a weekly show that I do, and it's starting to pick up. The YouTube is starting to pick up. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year. Last time I checked, I'm at 850. So
Get it.
you know, if y'all wanna subscribe over there, go ahead.
If I'm not
But yeah, I
subscribed,
try to
I'm gonna do it for you.
thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, but yeah, it's a really really dope show. I love doing it. Because like I said, the one thing about me, I just love trying to put people on. That's my thing. Because I just love music. I'm just a fan of music, and I feel like anybody who's making music and who's talented should be able to get their stuff out there. You know, so if I never pop, if I never pop when it comes to making beats, I still want to be a vehicle for somebody else to pop and provide for them and theirs. You know,
Yeah,
so
it's
yeah,
a big
I love the
energy.
show. Yeah, for sure.
And the next question is from Salmonella. Your favorite producers of the past and the present?
Got you. These producers that I'll name, no specific order, are the ones that really shake my sound and I love listening to them. Kanye, of course, Jay Dilla, of course, Madlib, Pete Rock, Knots, High Tech. Let me see who else, man. DJ Premier, the Neptunes. Let me see who else, man. Alchemist, Harry Fraud, Derringer. Who else, man? Those are just the ones I can name just off the top of my head that like I constantly listen to. But out of all those, if I did like a top 5, Kanye, Neptunes, Pete Rock, Jay Dilla, Madlib. Those are my 5.
That's dope. Next question from Ismail. Man, they're both in like, you got questions coming, man. Sometimes I throw this out and like it's crickets, and I'm like, yeah, so let's move. And then everyone knows that nobody has questions. Anyway, what would you say will be the next trend in hip hop production wise? And this is from Ismail.
Definitely no drums. Definitely no drums. Hardcore rap with no drums. Hardcore rap with no drums. So that's like anything like the new stuff that it's annoying. I got annoyed really easy. I went to a show like a couple months ago, and it was 4 hours of hardcore raps with no drums. Really, really annoying. So like so whenever I talk about this is like stuff that the Alchemist does, stuff that like Rock Marciano does. It's just like Griselda sort of situation sometimes.
But with no drums.
Yeah, with no drums. Just a sample chop, no drums. Yeah. That's how I feel. I feel like that's what the trend is on the underground level, like the super underground level. But if I'm just talking about music as a whole, I think I'll give it maybe like a year and a half, 2 years. I think people, especially with rap, people with actual talent will start to eventually come back. It might be like on some trappish sort of beats, but I think people with actual talent are going to be coming back, because people are starting to get annoyed. I feel like people are starting to get annoyed with the fluff that is coming out with music, and I think people are going to start coming back to the realer side of things.
I definitely agree with that. I also, I think the more emotion, people get off on emotion from what I see with the kids. So like that authenticity and emotion. I also think EDM has a huge power. I think a lot of electronic shit, like if Nas dropped an EDM album, it would fuck people up. I don't think he would.
It would.
But if he did, and he did it well, it would fuck people up. But which artists should we be on the lookout for in 2021 and 2022? And this is from Zamana.
Okay, I'll give you R&B. I'm a big R&B guy and I'm a big hip hop guy, right? So I think with hip hop, let's see, because I listen to so much music, I had to pinpoint who you should really be listening to. Look out for me. Not playing. Let me see. God, I can't think. Okay, so for R&B, I would really say I'll give you 2 artists who are really gonna shake it up next year. Victoria Monet. Victoria Monet is always super, super dope. She has a record called Coastin'. That came out probably about a month or 2 ago. That's really good. Also Joyce Rice from Cali. She's super dope when it comes to R&B. Hip hop. I'm really, because like if I give you hip hop, it's gonna be like underground. Let me give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna open up iTunes and just scroll through somebody who's gonna be hot. Cause like I listen to music, like whenever I do my show, I like every Tuesday and Wednesday, I legit look for new music all of the time. So let me see. I'm scrolling through right now. Nothing's really sticking out. I just give you. I'll do this. I'll just give you some of the artists that I'm working with to look out for. So shout out because I feel like they'll pop. Um, shout out to my man UFO Feeve. He signed to Fat Joe right now. He just came out with a project. Uh, he's came out with a project this month called The Most High. And also he came up with a project with my man Vanderslice a couple months ago called The Enigma of Dolly. He's really dope. Uh, shout out to my man Red Infinite, same crew. We just came out with a project last month called A Kid from Queens. Uh, let me see some other MCs that are really dope. My man Bub Rock. Uh, he just came out with the album called Thanks for Sharing, and like he has drumless rap that I actually like. Like he's really dope. Rock Marciano, he says he enjoys his music a lot, so he's getting bigged up by a lot of people. Um, yeah, man. Can't really think of. There's a whole bunch of artists, especially that I'm working with, that are super dope. Shout out to my man Jay Larry. We did a project a couple months ago, super dope. Um, just I don't know, just with a lot of rap, it's a lot to look out for. But
Shout
R&B,
out
definitely
Zalmanel.
Victoria Monet, definitely Joyce Rice.
Zalmanel wrote down all the names.
Say what?
Zalmanel wrote down all the names so
Oh,
they pop
see,
up in the video now. Shout out Zalmanel.
perfect,
But yeah,
perfect.
I
Yeah,
appreciate that. You definitely have a cool perspective on a lot of this shit, and you've definitely got a lot of like grind in you. I respect the like tenure of everything you've done. Like you're
thank
what,
you.
2 decades deep, no problem.
Pretty much, yeah. Like I'm 29, and like I said, I've been grinding at this since '07. So it's just forward progression, man. Like I knew what I wanted to do in high school. Like I knew I wanted to be involved in music in some sort of way, whether it's MCing or producing. Um, but really just trying to put people on and just grind it out, man. That's all I know how to do. So I appreciate it.
I appreciate that too, and I like the fact that you're taking it seriously and you're willing to fuck with the Twitch world and be digital with it and like really pursue it like that. I think that's cool. Like, I mean, that's how I see the future going. Like in more of
Yeah, for
this
sure,
world, just because it like
for
practically
sure.
makes more sense for a lot of people. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, that's dope. Y'all better make sure to follow Mr. Backpack Beats. Uh,
Word, man.
yeah, cause like I appreciate you coming through. I feel like
Nah, I appreciate you for having me, bro. Like this is super dope. I'm usually the person doing the interviews. I never get interviewed. I think my last interview was probably maybe 4 years ago. So it's weird being on this side, but I really appreciate it, man.
yeah, I can empathize with that. When I get interviewed, I don't know how to fucking behave, and I'm really shit. I'm a shitty person to interview. I'm not good at questions and behaving. Um,
I feel it.
like
I
that,
feel you.
but like with that, nah, for me it's like a blessing. Like I get to meet people, like learn shit, like drumless beats. I'm like fucking a. That sounds nifty. That's something I could rock with. If it's gonna be hot, you know what I'm saying. That
Yeah,
yo,
yeah,
cause I always thought it was wild how like you would be like at an open mic or something, and like they would wait for the drums to kick in, and if it was like
mm,
48 seconds, I'm like, yo, you could have rapped on that shit. Like
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's still like a beat within the music that isn't drums, right? Like you can
Hmm.
rap on a piano loop, like you don't need it, like
Yeah,
so. That sounds cool to me because it's really like, yo, when you get like the like Evanescence song where the drums only kick in like fucking 2/3 of the way done right, it's like fucking wicked.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. That was a cool thing to learn. Like just that alone blew my fucking mind a little bit. And then just seeing your
yeah.
grind and the fact that you open your job over here, like just pushing it in, like that shit's mad inspiring. I respect that
No
hustle
doubt.
a lot. So yeah, I
I
definitely
appreciate it, man.
appreciate you sharing all that with us too. Helping us get them knowledge nuggets and shits. Definitely want to link up. Talk some more off cam. And
For sure.
all that to say, thank y'all for watching too. I appreciate y'all with the live. All y'all watching in the YouTubes and whatever's in the future, make sure that you're appreciated too. But also like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. Links in description. Y'all know what it is. And yeah, I don't know if you have any final words for the folks out there.
I mean, shoot, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and listen to me answer some long-winded questions. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, back_pack_ beats with a Z. If you can't remember that, just hashtag backpack season. You will see me. Make sure you tune into the stream. I stream every Tuesday and Friday. I'm getting back to the regular stream next week. And then especially on Instagram, the goal of every stream that I do, I have to make at least 5 bangers. We usually make anywhere from 7 to 8, but 5 of them have to be a certified banger. So on my Instagram, I'll do Twitch tapes. I'll do a series called Twitch tapes. So those 5 bangers that I make, I post them on my Instagram. So definitely stay tuned in over there. See what I got going on. Subscribe to the YouTube, trying to get to 1,000. And that's it, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me and rocking with real music, because a lot of people don't do that nowadays.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all too, for real. Thank you. That was a good outro. But y'all live long and fucking prosper, everybody. Take care.
I can't do it. Hold on, I can't do it. Let me see. There we go. I got you.